Story 1. Moving out of the city I've happily lived in for 10 years and moving back to another city I love for a completely different career. Scary step, but I'm stoked. Story 2. Improving my relationship with food, becoming healthier, and loving my body more. Growing in my difficult healing journey and rewiring the traumas of my brain. Learning to love myself without any people involved to determine my self-worth. Very excited for what the year holds for me. Story 3. I want to stop drinking alcohol, and I want to not be dependent on my husband. We've been together for 23 years, and I think it's time to let go of him and be on my own. We are not happy together. We just need to let go of each other and accept that it's better to separate. Story 4. Second income. I've been scraping by for over a decade. 2025 looks like it could be the year I'm able to buy my first home. First car that isn't a $2,000 beater with a heater. Things are finally looking up. Story 5. Making new friends, doing more things out of my comfort zone, and running 2 marathons. I reduced my drinking this year a lot and made me realize I had drinking buddies instead of friends. Hopefully, I'll find my tribe. Story 6. Quit drinking alcohol for good. I've always done dry January, but I'm hoping I can continue forever after it ends. Working more towards being debt-free. I regret my naive 20-something self. Ugh. Hoping more fellow Americans will wake up so we, the 99%, can band together and fight the 1%. Because we and the world need it to survive. Story 7. Finishing drug court was the worst experience of my life. If I had the choice to remain with my addicted, abusive, narcissistic husband, who threw me out consistently in the middle of the night with no shoes and no car, and drug court, I would pick the husband. That's how horrible this experience has been. Story 8. I truly want to continue working on something that I love. It took me years to decide to work in the field that I studied for pleasure, and now I'm doing it. It's a side job, but still, I want to do it full-time. Story 9. I am genuinely looking forward to seeing how far space exploration will have advanced by 2025. With all the planned missions to the Moon and Mars, it feels like we are on the brink of a new era in space travel. I cannot wait to see what discoveries and breakthroughs we will witness. Story 10. I get a decent pay raise at the end of the school year and 1 more year of mileage as a middle school teacher. I switched schools last year, and I feel myself improving as an educator every year. Story 11. Less Reddit reading, more book reading. Wife bought a small apartment studio. Looking forward to renovating it into a cozy reading and learning room. Good luck to everybody in 2025. Story 12. Dating. Well, not dating because that is a uniquely horrible process, especially with the current dating applications. But the end result, that's what I'm looking forward to. Story 13. Pressing charges against my ex. She was abusive and it got physical at the end. She had the audacity to lie to the cops, so I told the truth about her. Story 14. Become more sociable. I'm too closed in trying to get out of my shell. I'll start by taking my headphones off when I get to work and greet them with a hello. How are you? Story 15. I'm severely depressed and catch myself doing things to hurt myself intentionally. I lie and say it's accidents. If I could stop, I would love to. It's almost spontaneous. I have a loving, supportive, caring husband and 4 dogs. Why am I still unhappy? The past is the past. My father loves me, my mom does sometimes. I need mental help and cannot afford it. I just want to be the person that my husband and dogs deserve. I live every day pretending I'm normal. He asks about the bruises and I make up stories, but the truth is that I just hate myself and I feel like I don't deserve my life. I want to be happy for once in 2025. I'm trying to work on myself by myself. I tell myself every morning, today will be the day. Ihopido. And for everyone self-doubting, I know, they say, fake it till you make it. Well, Carol, I've been faking for 20 years. Where is the make it? But in 2025, I want to be a normally adjusted person. I've never had children, so I don't repeat the cycle. Story 16. Affection. Love. Intimacy. Success. No more loans or financial setbacks. A little appreciation. hoping for better days. This year has been worse than I imagined. My sleep issues are worse because I'm harboring so much anger and frustration. I'm honestly so exhausted with life. I just keep telling myself I just have to get through the end of it. I regret staying in situations longer than I should have. I wish I put my foot down and said I'm sorry, I'm not going to be taken for granted one more day in my life. Story 17. I'll finally get medication for my attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder. There will be moments or maybe even full days of being clear-headed, with a single calm thought, rather than the difficulties I've been dealing with for the last 40 years. Roll on July, baby. Story 18. Genuinely interested to see how the case for Luigi Mangione goes and if any changes occur in the United States health insurance cases or policies with regards to any positive change of any type. Not holding my breath. I hope his arrest is not in vain. Story 19. I am not looking forward to anything. I have not felt very much joy these last few years, and it has been getting harder and harder to feel much of anything at all. It is like something inside of me has gone numb, and it is awful. Story 20. Well, I would like to find my special someone, but I really don't think that's going to happen. So, genuinely looking forward to? Sorry, I don't have a good answer. Story 21. My aunt and cousin are finally moving up after my whole life of only seeing them once a year. I've been close with my cousin since he was a baby when I met him for the first time. They only come to visit once a year for 2 weeks. But my cousin is graduating college this year, and they're going to move here sometime, probably around September. And we'll finally be able to be together for more than 2 weeks of the year. Story 22. A few books are coming out, especially Onyx Storm. I picked up reading again in 2022 and have been catching up on some of the popular favorites in the past year. Story 23. Finally getting to know myself better. I've consciously chosen to be single and to focus on being the best me I can be. For the first time in my life, it'll be just me and my cat. Nobody else to focus on, nobody else to project onto, nobody else to distract myself with. Not even my son, he's going to college. I'm excited, not terrified, I swear. Story 24. Some concerts, beta breakers, some other runs, hopefully cycling in new locations, Jack Reacher Season 3, and maybe a real vacation for the first time in decades. Story 25. I am not looking forward to this, as much as I am extremely optimistic about how artificial intelligence can truly be a paradigm shift for learning in schools and universities. Story 26. There is a total lunar eclipse beginning late on March 13th into the morning of the 14th. Not as cool as a solar eclipse, but I'm still excited to see it if the clouds cooperate. Not that I can afford to leave my job yet. I'll be able to say I'm eligible to retire next November. Story 27. Leaving the town I'm dying in, cutting out the clingers, lessers, fake friends, and people who make me doubt myself or hold me down, and focusing on my destiny. Story 28. Honestly, not much. Rafael and Astrid's new season is probably the highlight. Getting my recipe database online. Finally getting my disability benefits approved. Story 29. It's going to be an eventful year. Send my oldest daughter off to college. Probably a big career change coming. And maybe even a divorce. All sorts of fun to be had. Story 30. Hopefully better luck with health in 2025. Spent my Christmas in hospital the past few years just out of pure chance. I find myself very run down at the end of the year. Just came out of surgery yesterday for an infection I had the exact same time last year, and prior to that had gastroenteritis all week. Tough luck. Huh? At least fewer chronic migraines would be nice. Story 31. Making more strides with the business I am running with friends and being consistent with my fitness routines. My aim is to run a 21-kilometer before the end of the year. Story 32. Jury nullification for Mangione, a run for Congress, and billboards nationwide reading Mangione for President 2036. You or your organization can rent such a sign, and if you post a contact number and ensure you answer the phone 16 hours a day or more, you can connect the dots to your issue and solicit funds to recoup costs or even fundraise for more billboards. It could go out of control, serving your own cause while aiding another cause that seemed abandoned until recently. It will help combat whatever horror shows Trump comes up with. Google billboard companies. Rentals are cheap in rural areas, medium in mid-sized cities, and expensive in metropolitan areas, but they can pay for themselves. Story 33. Getting further and further out of debt. It will involve refocusing on my financial priorities and cutting down on more frivolous spending, but it can be done. Story 34. Build up a house. My wife and I were finally able to buy some wooded land this year, and we are going to build the house we plan to retire in. We can finally move back out of town. Story 35. I have a 14-week-old baby boy who will most likely laugh for the first time in the next few weeks, and it wouldn't be crazy for him to be taking his first steps by Christmas of 2025. Story 36. Well, I'm going to see the third Sonic movie on Wednesday, so I guess that counts. Actually, as a big Sonic fan, things look promising for the foreseeable future in general for the series, so that's nice. Christmas next year is going to be a bigger gathering. My brother usually comes in from San Francisco for Thanksgiving and skips Christmas, but he's switching it up next year. I got a really good gift for my mom planned too. My grandmother, her mom, passed from complications due to COVID-19 in 2020, so next year, I'm going to get as many pictures of her as I can together and give copies of them to a sculptor for reference so I can commission them to do a bust of her. That's about it. Whatever new games I can play that catch my attention and I've got the time and money for, I guess. Got a bunch for Christmas, so I guess also technically I'll be playing them into the new year. Beat Sonic and Shadow, Generations the other day, finally getting around to Nier Automata, then it'll probably be The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, then Neon White. Story 37. Focusing on my physical health. I got a MetaQuest 3 for Christmas, and it's the first time I've ever legitimately enjoyed exercising. It has shifted me from being begrudgingly ready to focus on my fitness to actively being excited for it. Story 38. Deleting social media and Reddit. By everyone, 6,000 karma after 6 cake days isn't really much of an accomplishment. No more listening to political news either. Story 39. I started my own clothing brand this year, but it's very tough to juggle that along with all my other work, raising a puppy, and having some downtime. I'm hoping to create more designs this year for the brand, do more pop-ups, nice shoots, and everything in between. Story 40. It was Grand Theft Auto 6, but apparently that's been delayed to 2026, so now it's The Last of Us Season 2. I thought Season 1 did a fantastic job of adapting the game, and as seemingly one of the few people who loved the second game, I can't wait to see how they adapt it in this show. Story 41. In 2025, I will start my first year of being forced back into the office since COVID, even though I live 3 times as far away from the office and my productivity has increased. Here we go. Good luck, you corporate folks. Story 42. More Mandela effects because what the freak. Some of them are so true to me in my memory that it's strangely terrifying on a daily basis. As an American, I appreciate new and interesting conspiracy theories. Oh shoot, that's not how it works. What the freak is going on for real though? Monocle, Cornucopia, Kit Kat, Looney Tunes, Curious George Tale, The Berenstain Bears, Disney intro with Tinkerbell, Mirror Mirror on the Wall, Hi-ho, it's off to work we go, etc. etc. Freaking happened, I feel it in my bones. They'll be firing up that Large Hadron Collider again, causing more weird stuff to happen. Right under our noses, but people will continue to deny the truth in their own minds. Not saying all of them are true, but dang, a large percentage are, in my convinced memory. I think Jif was always Jif and not Jiffy. However, Chick-fil-A was Chic-fil-A and Febreze was Febreze, dang it. It's 3 a.m. I should either watch more conspiracy videos or go to sleep. Yay! Story 43. Justice. Avenging wrongs and absolutely crushing those who wronged me in the past. Financial security, preferably a job that gives me a base salary of the number in my mind. Love and new experiences. But most importantly, freedom. Being the person my inner self always wanted to be. Story 44. My wife and I are going on our first holiday with our daughter. I know it's not going to be the most relaxing holiday, but I'm looking forward to having some extended family time and taking the little one to be a tourist. Story 45. Decided to part ways with a side job I have had since 2019, which ate up most of Wednesday and Thursday nights. It was a passion project of sorts, so I am melancholy about it, but I am ready for some spare time. Story 46. Growing my business. I had a flat year and I myself am to blame. I just didn't take much initiative to test and find new ways to grow. Mental health was in shambles too. Better now and looking forward to investing in growth for 2025. Story 47. I went to the hospital in October thinking I had an ovarian cyst or something. Turns out my bowel was ruptured and I have a temporary colostomy. I really miss my butthole. Story 48. A whole lot of change. I'll be graduating and moving to a different state. A 13-hour drive, wish me luck, and hopefully making some friends in college since I never could in high school. Story 49. Getting the right health insurance to finally restore an antidepressant. It's more than that actually. I lost under my old insurance, building a new computer after 5 years for gaming in school, and returning to college after a way too long absence. Story 50. Going no contact after an abusive narcissistic relationship of 7 years. My birthday is also tomorrow, so I'm thinking of it as a new year, new me quite literally. I'm beyond exhausted. Story 51. I'm probably going to be starting a new post-secondary education and ending my full-time employment with a job. I really don't like to work there part-time instead, while I focus on my education. Monster Hunter Wilds. Reading more books. Witch Hut Atelier Anime. Story 52. Getting out of the army. Signed up for 6 years at 18. I get out in June. So excited to go back home and be around my family and be able to help out my nieces and nephews and feel like a normal human being again. I spent almost half of my time overseas in Korea or in Europe. In fact, I'm in Europe right now. I come back from this rotation and start out processing almost right away. 2025 is going to be a fantastic year.